March 6th, 2013. Sometimes we do some really crazy jobs, and sometimes we just do things to get through. I'll go back. We lived in Washington State, and this is after we moved out of, or spent some time there in Seattle. And we finally got a place. Was looking. There was a gay newspaper, and we found some guys who had a mobile home for rent that lived outside of town. And what was interesting about this, and this was early in our relationship, so we had a lot of relationship building to do. It was on our third or fourth year. We were still finding, understanding one another, and beginning this relationship, which has lasted 30 plus years. We found this place to live, and it was almost like the way I look at it, was like a little gay commune. We finally found some, I wouldn't say elders, but guys had been in relationships for a long period of time. These are the guys that went through the war, Second World War. One guy had worked on the naval ships. Another guy was, there was like three of them there. And, two of them were in relationships. One was just a single guy. They all came through the army, the war, and had found themselves, and finally, made and bonded with relationships. And so it was nice for us to be able to experience that, being a young couple, to be able to see that relationships do bond and last, like our counterparts, our heterosexual relationships. I know nowadays they talk about the gay marriage thing, and it's never been one of our issues in life. Usually, you make a commitment, just like in marriage, till death do you part. That you bond and you give yourself to that person for the duration. So it was good. It was good to be in that environment. That's why it was, like I talked before, it was so much happened within that 2.5 years that we bonded, and the growth of our relationship came from that time we spent in Washington. And like I said, how things are, I said a coincidence, but how we traveled all the way around the country and ended up in Washington, and ended up in Elk Creek there with these other guys that had been in relationships for years and years and years. But one of the things, I got a little sidetracked there, but we did, let's see, got to put this in order so you understand. The one that invited us out, he had kind of he had moved up from California. He was a builder, very energetic. One picture I remember seeing of him, that he was doing, they would cut these logs and lay them across this creek, and he would go out in the middle of them and do handstands all the way, on this log across this big, kind of river gorge. So he was very much of a very athletic mountain type man. His name was Gene, and he had a partner, and he was Australian. I remember he had an Australian accent. I remember when we talked to him over the phone before we went out, that you could hear his partner in the background. So his partner was very vocal. Gene was the do it all type of guy, and then his partner was just to sit back and just tell you how to do all the kinds of stuff. Very humorous couple. But we went out. He invited us to come out, and he said, "Come out and visit. And if you like, see the place. If you like it, then and rent was very reasonable. What worked for us is that we could rent the mobile home, and there was a garage there, so we could work on the cars. So it turned out to be a really perfect thing for us. But I remember when we first went out, and luckily we had the dog with, so King was welcome with us. But we came out, we visited with him, and I remember it was dark, so you could hear when we had the one room that was up above and had a little walkout. You could walk out onto the little walkout deck, but you could hear the falls, and it was very mystical, almost romantic type of place. The next day, I think we do go over and see the place, but the next day we got to see it in the daytime. It was an older mobile home, but it was set away from their house on some land and still next to the creek. But I remember hearing, like I said, the creek waterfalls all night long when we laid there, and we discussed it, and it seemed like a good move for us. But the river, the Elk Creek Falls is beautiful place to live. And like I said, we was there for a couple of years. But one of the things we'd do, because Gene would always take a vacation in the wintertime. He'd go off for 3 months, and his partner would go off to Hawaii. They would vacation Hawaii in the wintertime. And they just really wanted somebody to kind of watch over the place when he was gone. So those 3 months that he was gone, we would get free rental, which was, you can't turn down nothing, turn down advantage like that. But one of the things we did do, and I remember he taught me a lot, that you can, wherever you are, in whatever circumstance, you can make a living. He's the one that showed us how to do the firewood. He showed us how to do the mushroom hunting during the season. Made excellent money at that time. Built up a good rapport with the firewood, and made went up to what I'm going to talk about is the Christmas trees. Sold a lot of Christmas trees, handmade Christmas trees, and that was quite an experience. Besides doing the cars, so whatever it was, we could etch out a living in a place like that. And there's lots of stories I'll tell you about, but I just wanted to touch base with that it was it was something that we really needed. And you got to understand the timing. When Gordon and I got together in the early 80s, it's just right when the AIDS thing came out. So we kind of bonded, and kind of held on to one another, because we knew that there's this very strange thing going on, and I'll talk about that later. Again, that it's just the time in the air. It's very scary for a lot of us, because there's just a lot of unknown and very scary time to be a gay man at that time. But finding this place, finding Gene and the other talk about the characters around the creek there was quite an experience. But one thing that I was going to talk about was Christmas trees. I remember because they'd be gone, and I'd just go out into it's called the Evergreen State for a reason, because there's nothing but pine trees. Washington is right in between the mountain, as they call the Cascades, and the ocean. So you got this constant moisture, and it never really snowed snowed that much. Once in a while, it'd be kind of mystical that you'd wake up in the morning and some of the hills that we lived out, because we were about 40 miles from the coast. So on top of some of the hills, you could see the snow caps, the snow covers. But it wouldn't stick around very long. It was mostly just moist, cooler, moist, rainy, kind of rainforest type weather, and that's why we got the evergreens. There's plenty of evergreens. Like I said, we did the wood for a number of years, but making Christmas wreaths by hand. We'll get the boughs, cut them, bring them home, and twist them. Take one big bough and twist it into a nice round circle, tie it together, and then feed the other boughs through there and make Christmas wreaths. Sell and make money. But that's kind of what I was going to talk about, just the Christmas wreaths. Now, we did the Christmas wreaths again when we moved up north. After we moved back, lived in the city for a bit, and then we wanted to move back to the country, so we bought the land up north and moved up there. One of the things was a big manufacturing outfit that did two things. You could cut the boughs, the Christmas boughs, and bring those in, and they'd buy those, or you could rent a machine that would have these iron rings, and you just take your own boughs and make Christmas wreaths, and then bring those in, and then they would buy those from you, $5 a whack. So there was plenty of money to be made in Christmas wreaths, and did that for a number of years. But I'm gonna leave you with a song called, since we had this snow, this last snow that came through. This is all over the trees, and it looks a lot like Christmas. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Thinking about Christmas wreaths, about Christmas time. Hey, this is in March, which is actually spring in a lot part of the country. But memories. Some things just throw you back in time. March 6th, 2013.